Okay, we are live. I am back. My moderator, I think, thinks what I posted is TMI. But hey, we keep it real around here. Keeping it real. I had everything. I had everything all ready to go, and I was ready, and I'm like, oh no, I forgot. And I knew if I was going to sit here for an hour or two, I was like, I need to do that now. So. But anyway, welcome to my live stream today. Saturdays was usually I try to do them around Saturdays or on Saturdays around 2 o'clock if I can. It doesn't always work that way, but I figure that's a good time for like worldwide because it's later in the evening, in Europe, but midday in the States, and it's Saturday, so more people can join that way. But um, we've already got some comments here. I'm going to go ahead and just start reading them. So got I don't Ganapatham Ganapatham. I don't know how to pronounce that, but text animation in Blender VSE. So today we're not necessarily focused on text, but I can if we want some sort of animation. It's kind of the same principle that applies. It's very limited with the text in the VSE. It's better to use geometry nodes for text, but and he also says Blender lacks distortion effect without composition node. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Distortion effect would be through the composition nodes. So, um, after the bio break, yes, and okay, and then hey, Uri is back here as always. Which happy to see you again, and I'm sure we'll have some interesting conversations as we do. All right, so what we're gonna do today? Here, let me get my big fat head out of the way. So I need to go out of studio mode, and then there we go. And so what we're gonna do today is a continuation of what we did last week. So last week we talked about we set this Blender workspace, these Blender workspaces up, and I set a VSE reference and a VSE testing. And so for the reference, we were looking at this one, and specifically just this kind of effect right here. So you have the 4 pictures, or in this case, are they pictures or video? Yeah, they're pictures. So pictures coming out of the center and kind of popping out in the 4 corners here like this. And that's about as far as we got. We talked about a couple of other ones. So you can see, by the way, this is just from Envato Market. I'll go there real quick again. I have my Pixabay stuff that I was downloading for music today. I have a different music that I was testing out. But let's see. It is Mr. Nation and elements.envato.com. And he's got a lot of really good stuff here to download. So and by download, what I mean is these are like MoGraph or motion graphics templates. In fact, maybe I should have put MoGraph on my thumbnail today. But what I mean by this is if you click on one of them, you can actually download the preview. And this is free. You don't have to have an account for anyone. So I figured, okay, well, if it's public, then I'll just download the preview and slap it into Blender like this. And so we can go frame by frame to see how they do certain transitions of motion graphics, text, and all of that stuff. And so it's kind of just, again, for reference, for inspiration, kind of looking at a lot of how would I do certain things like this in Blender. And a lot of them are fairly straightforward. Like the slides, fairly straightforward. Which most transitions, modern day transitions, are just a combination of slides and cuts. But then these little mosaic things here they like to do as well. So so uh com- compositing. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at Ghana Pathoms. I'm just gonna call you Ghana if that's okay. Um, sorry, compositing. Yeah, no, no. For major effects, we need to switch to compositing editor to use. So I use Kden Live. Oh well, I don't know if you've been following along with Blender 5, but starting in Blender 5, you can actually use the compositor to output into the VSE. So, like, we did with like green screen stuff, but I can try to do an effect on this here real quick. It's kind of hard because maybe we'll just pick one. Maybe we'll just pick this one. But now if we go to strip modifiers, and add in, we have a compositor modifier now in the VSE. You do have to edit that in the compositor, but it spits it back out into the VSE. And actually, you can actually, we have right here. So camera and lens effects and creative. These are all compositor modifiers. So if I do a chromatic aberration here, this is just like a compositor effect. But it's pre-made and packed into Blender. So if you go to the compositor and click sequencer, here are all the nodes that make up this this chromatic aberration. Now you don't need to do any of this because now they have outputs here that are the input. So you have the scale and the factor. And you can choose different scale, like lens dispersion, directional blur. So actually, you know what? Now that we're doing this, I want to test this out on what we have planned today, the directional blur. But then you can do the factor, and you can see right here. So you've got your chromatic aberration, blur with a directional blur, and you can do factor samples and stuff, and then straight into the VSE. So it is with the compositor nodes, but it's like geometry nodes where you have the group input being the strip with the compositor modifier, and then it goes through all your nodes, and then it comes out to the group output, which then outputs it into the VSE preview. So I don't know if that you knew about that, Ghana, but and I've heard of Kden Live. I think I've used it many years ago, but that is something that's really new, and it's actually even better in 5.2, which is an LTS long-term support release, which is nice. So anyway, I'm gonna get rid of those. And by the way, I apologize if I'm starting to say something and then I completely stop and I switch topics or read your comments, is because I have my moderator in my ear, and I don't do very well with multitasking. So if I just switch off and then I read something and then I go. So okay. I think we're all caught up to speed. It looks like you guys are talking about yeah, just the compositor. Okay. So what I want to get to today is what we did last time. So what I was saying is I have this set up. So here's a reference, and I downloaded the templates from Envato. Well, not the templates themselves, just the preview, so that we can go step by step. And so here, this is what we're doing last time. So I can do frame by frame and see, okay, look, and see this would be a great thing, because I tried to do the blur on here, but I think that chromatic aberration is going to work nicely for that. But I don't have that yet. We can test that out today. But what I want to do is I want to make a template of this kind of animation. So essentially what I mean by that is I want to have something to where you have the animation already set up for you with like kind of like default pictures. And all you have to do is click and drag your own pictures in the place, and that's it. and then the animation's already done for you. So if you wanted to kind of make kind of motion graphic templates like this, then we can. So I've got my reference workspace here, which is pinned to my reference scene, because this is also starting in 5, I think, or maybe 5.1. No, I think 5, where the sequencer scene and the main scene can be different. So I can actually switch from testing to reference, and the main scene stays the same. So I get confused if I forget to switch both of them. So I just made 2 different workspace tabs so that they automatically both go to testing and reference. So I just was switching back and forth. I would look at the reference and then I would switch to my testing. So that's kind of our workflow here. So this is what I'm talking about now. And this is what I was working on last night to prepare for this. And so you have your 4 pictures coming in like that. And they come in kind of like at different sizes at first, but then they all kind of go out into a full at the same time. And here are the keyframes down here. So from here to here. But this requires a little bit of setup, and I'll go over the setup in just a second, but I want to show you how easy it would be to replace one of these pictures. So let's just say we're going to replace this picture up here. And I need to go to my pictures. Let's see some comments here. Yep, Ghana, you're welcome for the reply. And oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot to. I meant to disable these. Actually, I did disable them. I don't know why they're still here. Yes, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I've been working on kind of a bit of a project here. I might at the end go over them a little bit because it's not the purpose of it. But I made my own, well, little add-on scripts for exporting timeline markers and stuff for my like timestamps for if I'm creating a YouTube video. It helps me to create timestamps a lot easier. It helps me to export them a lot easier. So I may show you that it's not, I did not make them, like, I don't code. So this is my experimentation with AI and just saying, and it was accidental too. It was completely accidental because I asked AI if Blender had the capacity to do something. And I just wanted basically, yes, it can, no, it can't. That's all I was looking for. And then I typed it in there and it said, no, it can't. But if you wanted to add it, here's the code. And I was like, okay. So I just did a little bit of testing this week and it actually really works really well. So spotted a leak. Yes, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Well, to be fair, I don't know what's going on with Blender. Like, I purposely yesterday, because I was like, oh, people are going to notice that, and then they're going to ask about it. And so I purposely was like, I disabled them, and then I saved my preferences manually. And so I don't know why they were still there, to be honest, when it reopened. So there you go, sneak peek into something. And I have been planning to do a little tutorial and then just give the scripts away for free if people want to do it. It's kind of it's a very niche thing. So anyway, yeah, well, I talked a little bit more about it than I wanted to. But anyway, you're fine, and you're okay to ask about that too. Okay, let's go to, oh, I wanted pictures. Where did I put those pictures? Live stream graphics. No. I think they're in. I just need to find them. Sorry, I thought I put pictures and stuff at different places, and depending on what I'm doing, and I can't ever remember. Okay, here, this is this one. This is good. Okay, so I'm gonna replace it, this top one here, with something completely different. Let's do, well, so the top one, I also did this. So this one's the top one, and so it kind of goes in clockwise order. So this is top left, top right, bottom left, in order. So let's go into the top one. This is a meta strip, and this is what I have so far, but this is the picture. And actually, I already have pictures in here that I can just hide this one and unhide this one, and then it should work exactly the same with that new picture right there that I already have. But I'm just going to add a completely new one. So hide that one. Bring the adjustment layers up just a bit. And then we're going to bring this one in. We're going to bring this one in. There we go. This little Merlin painting. There we go. And just hide the adjustment layers if you want to see it full screen. So this is what it looks like. So I'm not adjusting the picture itself at all. I'm just using adjustment layers to adjust them. So this is what that looks like. I'm gonna bring those back, and then it should work straight away. So it does, except for I have to do the alignment a little bit here. So the adjustment layer doesn't, we can turn on the overlays. It doesn't automatically crop it correctly. So we can just adjust that. And that's actually what this adjustment layer is for specifically. The first adjustment layer is for the animation keyframes. And then the second one is for any sort of positioning with the origin and the cropping. So I'm just going to take this cropping and just crop it like this. And then we can move that origin and snap it there. And then, of course, snap it to the middle. So you do have to do a little bit of adjusting there, but it's not that much, and it doesn't affect the picture at all. So, and then now we have that picture. Of course, it doesn't line up with these other ones here, but that's okay. Like it's not the same size. Another thing that I could do, and actually, you know what? This is maybe a better solution. If you wanted to maintain this same exact frame. So here's the frame of the adjustment layer. So that's one way you could do it if you wanted to adjust the adjustment layer. The other way you can do it is just take the picture itself and just scale it up. And you scale it up until, as long as you don't mind cropping it. So you can scale it up and you can actually move it, scale, and you can actually move it around and adjust it to where you might want it to look the best, like that. And then we go out, and there you go. Now it lines up with everything else. So there's a couple of different ways you can adjust those things. I don't know why I put adjusting air quotes, but there you go. And so this would be something like a template that you could add, and you could just swap out the pictures very easily with minimal adjusting. So, okay, let's see. Oh, okay. We got some chats going on here with the moderator. That's good. Didn't you use a different version before? I don't know. I mean, I don't know before or what, but you mean different version of Blender? I don't know. I've been using the 5.2 release since it came out. So anyway, so what we're going to do, this is what we also did last time. So this is how we started testing it out. But this was the animation on the individual images, which means if I put new images in there, you would have to do the animation again. Or another way you could do it is you could replace it by just going here and replacing the image. So this is the one, so this is the one here. So I could just double click and replace that image, except, oh wait, nope, sorry. I'd have to the way this, oh, change data files right there. So there we go. And double click and then refresh. And you see how it's gone? Well, it's because it's not in the right place. So you'd have to figure out where it goes or where it was and then snap it there. Okay, now does that work? No. Yeah, and the scale's all different. So it's just, it would require a lot to, even if you were just to replace the image itself, it would require, because the images have different their own resolutions and all of that stuff. And the reason it works in this is because you actually are using the adjustment layer as kind of like a container for it. Like this is where we start, and this is kind of the frame. And so all you have to do is a little bit of adjusting of the picture in that frame, and you're set. So let's do it. Let's real quick, and we also did this last time too. So this is kind of another template that could be used. Although I don't know how I would do a template with the wipes yet. So we will save that for something else. I'm just going to actually get rid of them because I'm not using them. But let's put this back over here. Let's start. So I'm just going to start by grabbing in 4 of these pictures. Again, we're just going to use this kind of the same ones. Maybe I'll do some slightly different ones because I haven't downloaded anything new really. So we have these. And in Blender 5.2, I think it's 5.2, we can now move this origin, which you saw me do earlier. That's image transform move origin. I don't like the control period because for some reason it does something different on my computer. It switches into a certain mode, and it's then some of my other hotkeys stop working. So I just right click and I add it to my quick favorites, which is Q. And then let's see. Yeah, move origin. So right here, move origin, and then it's not, snapping mode isn't on right now. So I either click snapping mode and turn that on and do it, and then we'll snap automatically. Or if this is off, by the way, if you move your origin or anything, if you're moving your picture or whatever, and it's not snapping, you can hold down control and then it temporarily turns the snapping on. So then I would snap it there, and then I would just grab by pressing G and grab the whole picture and then control and snap that right to the middle there. But actually I don't want to do that there, not with the picture. So origin in the middle with the picture, we want the adjustment layer to do that for us. So add in Control A, adjustment layer, or you can come up here, add adjustment layer. And this is what we're going to use to have that container to show the place. So move the origin on that, snap, grab, and snap it to the middle. There we go. So now with this, I can actually scale it where I want. So like this. And I'm just going to scale it to where the top is right there on the top. If the side was longer, then I would just scale it to the side. Essentially, I'm scaling it to the side in the top right here at this corner right there. Even though the picture doesn't go all the way over there, which is fine. And then for the picture, then I could just click and drag, and you can see it only is appearing wherever the container is. So, and I can scale the picture up or down within that and kind of move that. So I want to move it all the way over to where it starts to slide into that other container. I wish I could see both containers at the same time. I can if I do this, but if I do this, then I'm moving both of them, and I don't want to move both of them. I just want to see both of them. but it doesn't really seem like that's all that possible. So I'll say grab, or G to grab, and then X to move it over just on the X, and then just right there. So there you go. Then that is your adjustment. And then if I wanted to animate this, then the adjustment layer would add another one, and this is where the animation will go. And now I can scale this up and down like this. Now, here's something to note too. The adjustment layers have to be in a specific order. So if this adjustment layer is up, and then I try to use this for animation, you can see it's not going to line up right. Unless you want it to animate like this. So you have a couple of different options. If you want to animate them going into kind of like individual origins type of thing, then you can do this. And so it's kind of using this as a reference. So I'm scaling it in towards the center of this, and so it's saying, oh, okay, so I'm going to take the picture and scale it in towards its center. Now, I don't know why. I don't know what calculations cause it to do that. But why did that stop here? What am I doing? Oh, this one. Okay. So I'm going to reset this. Alt G, Alt S. Alt G resets to the default position, and Alt S resets to default scale. Same thing with rotation. Alt R resets that rotation. So if this is what you're going for, you can do it that way, or just bring that and switch those, and then now it scales that within the container. For some reason, my picture here is off, and I don't know why. So let's go over here and figure that out. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. So Alt G, Alt S, and then we'll put it right here. You could do it. You could do it while it's under here too. It's just and actually, I'm not going to do Alt S because that's too big. I'm going to go to Image, Apply, and Scale to Fit. This is how Blender by default imports images. So we're going to go over here like that. This is how we had it, and now move the, oh, that's why, because I did move that over on the X. Okay, so now move it over on the X again, just to get that right in the center, right when that starts sliding. Okay, something like this. And now we take this and we can scale it out. So the scale is going to start for this one. It's going to start small like this. So if we go back to our reference, you can see they're coming out kind of the same. They're scaling at the same rate, but they're all different sizes. So this is the smallest, second smallest, third smallest, fourth. You know, so it's kind of in clockwise order. That's kind of what I was trying to emulate. And so, but from the start, from 0 to about here, they're all scaling at the same rate. So what I'm going to do to set this up is I'm going to have this start at this scale. So it's about 2.79, let's just say, or 0.279, let's just say 0.3. And I'm going to add a keyframe here just on the top adjustment layer as that. And then I'm going to just go, I don't know, a few frames. I don't know how long, really, to do it. Maybe just right here. We can adjust this layer. And then this will be the same. So we want it to be the same from 3.3 to 0.3 right here. And then from 0.3 here to just about the end, 1 frame before the end, I'm going to say 1. So where 1 is now scaled to, where the end point where we want it to end up. So that is how you do that. And now, even with this is already sort of a template. We can just swap out these pictures, and then it's already going to have that animation. Now we might have to do some adjusting with the picture itself. So right here, it's not in the center, so we'll just have to take that and just slide that like we did before. But that's it. And now it should work exactly like this. And if we put these on top of each other, we can choose to hide one and reveal the other. And now we have, you can just test things out to see which one you like better. And that's really easy to kind of switch out. So now comes the tricky part. But let me see if there are any more comments here. Nope, no more comments. Doesn't look like it. So what I'm going to do now is we want 4 of these for the 4 corners and the 4 pictures. So let's take this coffee, and we'll have this be the top one still. If I take these 3, Control G, and put them in a metastrip. A metastrip is just a group. Since this is selected, I can hover over it and press F2 to rename it. I'm going to name this Meta Top Left, TL for top left. Okay. You see how it has transparency, or it's supposed to have transparency, and this is supposed to be alpha over. This is correct. This is correct. It's supposed to be alpha over, and then you have alpha and it's over. So transparency is over the coffee, and it's working exactly like expected. But we ran into an issue last time, and I want to see if I can replicate it. And I don't know if it has to do with the metastrips themselves. I think it does. So if I just take this coffee, just this picture, and I do Control G and put that one into a metastrip, and I refresh. Okay, see, that's still working just fine. And I believe it's working just fine because we do have alpha in here. But let's take this one, and let's put this one, put these together. Just for now, I'm going to scale this over here, and this one I'm just going to scale over here. Okay. And I'm going to put both of them into a metastrip. You can see now, this is supposed to be acting like this one was, where it's right over that picture like this. But it's not. All of a sudden, now it looks like there's transparency with the checkerboard, but it doesn't actually bleed through. And I think that I found the reason. I do believe this is a bug, and I should be the one to report it, but it's just takes so long to do bug reporting. But I don't know who else is going to do it. So the reason I think is because in 5.2 they've tried to make it more efficient to where if there isn't transparency, it's not going to try to calculate transparency. I don't know why it thinks that this has no transparency, because I don't know, you have the opacity or whatever. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can either come to this picture, go up to the opacity and do 0.999999999. So now technically this has some transparency, even though it says 1 here and you don't really see a difference. Then you can tab back out and refresh, and nope, that didn't work either. So this worked once for me, which is fine. That means that that's not going to Well, let's do a few less nines. So let's do 999. Okay, let's see if that works. Yes. Okay, there you go. So it has to have some transparency, and now it recognizes what's underneath it. A meta strip, by the way. I don't think this applies to anything else, at least not that I've seen yet. So, I don't like doing this because technically then you're like, oh, well, this has transparency. Yes, but then you'd have to do this for, I mean, I don't think you have to do this for every picture. I think it just has to be one. And I'll show you why. So I'm going to put this back to 1. Again, I want to avoid having to change the picture itself for this template, because if you're going to be dragging and dropping pictures, you're not going to want to having to fiddle with those a lot. So instead, inside your meta strip, what you can do is add in a color strip, and I would say put it above everything else in your scene. So I would maybe put it above like that, and you can even lock it. I think that's Control L or just L. Wait, what's lock? Shift L? Well, okay. Let's right click, lock mute. Oh, this doesn't have lock on here. Why? Oh, lock strips. Control H. Control H. I don't know. I'm just gonna lock it. I'm just gonna click this button and lock it. Oh, okay. It did lock it, but it doesn't have the lock overlay. Interesting. So I can't tell it's locked, but now it's locked. So anyway, I can't move it, which is good. I don't want to be able to move it, at least not yet. Maybe if we get, more pictures and stuff up here. The point is, what you want to do is you want to come down here and scale it to 0 so you can't see it. So now this is going to automatically recognize that as a transparency alpha. So I'm going to, just to demonstrate this again, if I bring this one up above, it does not have the transparency in it. So you can see it doesn't show that picture. So if I come back over here and I copy this and come back out and go in here and paste it here. Okay, same thing. And it's also locked. Yeah, so it looks like it's locked as well. All right, and then come back out, and now we have that transparency. So that's what we're going to be adding to all of these meta strips here as we adjust them. So since we're going to be duplicating this, let's go ahead and do that. Control Alt G to get rid of those meta strips there. We'll just take this. Let's see. How do I unlock? Control Alt H. Unlock. Okay. Just bring these over here for reference. Just need one of them actually. And we'll copy that and go in here, and then if I paste it, it's going to paste it in the wrong place. So let's go move that up just a little bit. There we go. Copy, paste. There we go. Move that up. It doesn't have to be too far if you're not doing a lot of pictures in here. So just get some wiggle room there. And Control H. Okay. And the Control H is just, it's not even that necessary to lock it. I just do it just so that I don't accidentally move it for some reason. Okay. So now we have this. Whoop. And we're going to duplicate this whole thing down. We're going to rename it to TR for top right. And then we're going to make this adjustment layer be the top right. So we're going to move this over, take the origin, snap it to this corner here, and snap that corner to the center. So now we have this. Of course, we need to put in a different picture, so I'll just copy this one. And we'll just delete that one and paste this one in. And then we need to adjust. Do we need to adjust that? Yes, we do. So at the end here, we'll just take the actual picture itself and slide it on the X until it starts to cut off, which is, we know that's the very center. And there we go. So now we have this. But for the adjustment layer on this one, we want this to be a little bit bigger. So right now it's at point. Is that the right scale? Wait, hold on. No, it's the 0.3. Right. Okay, so it's 0.3. So we want to change these keyframes. So let's just say what is 0.4? Yeah, that gives it a little bit larger than that. So we'll change those. I'm gonna hover my mouse over here, Control C to copy that, and then go find the next keyframe there, which is the yellow, and then Control V to paste those, and then re-key those. So now it starts at 0.4. And again, the reason I'm doing that is because in our reference here, this one is a little bit bigger. Those eyes are staring at me. Okay, so now coming back out here, now we have this one being a little bit bigger. And they stay that way until they start to animate. And then when they animate, they come out and they scale up to full size at the same time. Okay, so now we can duplicate this one down and take this one. Let's just delete that. Let's copy one of these other ones, paste it in here, and let's go to the end where it should be all right. Oh wait, first I forgot to, take this. This is going to be down here now. Take the origin, move it up, snap it to, not there, snap it to that corner. Take that corner, snap it to the middle. Okay, and then what I'm going to do with this is let's do apply scale to fit. There we go. And then is that the corner? I guess I'll just come out and see here. Okay, it is, but I do want it to be like the same scale kind of over here. So I want to take this photo and just S to scale and actually move it around first. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's move it. Let's just move it first to where the bottom meets the bottom right there, and then the side starts to cut in there. Okay, and let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's not fully over there yet, so I'm going to scale this one up a little bit so that it does reach the end of that container, which it should be cutting off. I don't know why it's not cutting off in this container. Oh, because the container is all the way over there. That's why. So I need to adjust. Ooh. Well, let's see. Do I have a guide? I wish I had some sort of like sliding guides that I could have on an overlay here. But what I'll do is just add in. No, not duplicate. Let's just add in a color. And this will be a little guide here. Just to line up where this picture should go. As a template. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna copy this and put it in here. Just so that I can see that. Okay, so now let's see, let's bring that up. And now I can take the adjustment layer. So the adjustment layer without the keyframes is, again, what I have for my crops, which I don't have any crops here for some reason, and I don't know why that's the case. Because I'm pretty sure, didn't I have the crop on this? Oh, I didn't. Okay, it was just scaled. Interesting. I see. Okay. Well, in that case, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to adjust that. So I'm going to take the left over here, and I'm going to pull this in. Because if we're gonna have a template where they are all kind of the same size, I want to have this cropping be accurate here. So then we can take this and scale this up a little bit, I think, right? Or no? That's not doing anything there. Maybe. It's still kind of cutting that off beforehand for some reason, and I don't know why. But that's okay. Yeah. I don't know. That is actually a little weird why that's cutting it off, because I would hope that it would cut off exactly. But anyway, so what I'm going to do to replace that, I'm just going to copy this one so we don't have to replace everything. Just copy this one, go out, and then we'll delete the bottom one and paste that one. We're going to have to do some adjusting anyway, again, obviously, because the origins are going to be different, but it's okay. No origin, snap, and snap. There we go. So now I know that it should be this size. This is why we're doing this. And so now I can take my picture and kind of adjust to that that size. Okay, so even though they start at different sizes, they scale up to the exact same size. Okay, same thing. I'm going to delete this one and paste this one. Take that origin, move it to the top left here, and snap that to the middle. I hope you're following along. See, now again, this frame is going to be the same size. So now I just have to take this picture at the end and adjust it there. Yeah, perfect, just like that. And then it eliminates the need for this guide here. Okay, so this one is starting at the same size though, so we need to have this be a little bit bigger in size. So let's go to the beginning and go in here. Our animation is on the top, and in fact we probably should have renamed these, you know, like adjustment animation, adjustment scale, whatever, or adjustment crop, which we can. Let's just do that, even though I didn't do that with the other ones. This is good practice to do before you start duplicating them, but you live and you learn. Okay. Scale, animation. And then this one, position, crop. And then that's easier to see. And technically I should be renaming the first one up here and then duplicating them down, but that's okay. I'm not going to do all that. You get the gist. So now we want to adjust the animation here. Let's say 0.6 and replace those keyframes. Copy. Let's go to the other keyframe. Paste, and redo those keyframes. Now they are starting at different starting points there. And maybe that's still a little too big. I get 0.5, 0.6, 0.4, 0.5, and 0.6. Is that what I have? Yeah, I'll check your comments here in just a second. I've been told that I have some, so yeah, 0.4. Oh, this one's 0.4. 0.3, 0.4. Oh, and I jumped to 0.6. Let's just go with 0.5. I don't want to do 0.5. I want to do 0.55, I think. So yeah, 0.55. I don't want it too big. Let's copy that and put that right here. Okay. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's not too bad. So it starts there, and then they scale up. Okay, and then the last one, duplicate that down. Now, everything as this template should be correct, except for just the keyframes, you know, and the origin points. So let's take that origin and move it to yeah, this one up here. Origin. There we go. And then we can delete this picture. Well, hold on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Take that origin and snap it to the middle, the center, and we can delete this picture and bring in, which one don't we have? The coffee one. So copy that. Copy coffee. Paste this. And this is quite quite a bit of work to set up. But again, once you have it set up, it's pretty nifty here. So I'm gonna go image, scale to fit, and then this should be we can grab and move it to play. Oh, let's go to the end. There we go. Grabbing and moving it to make sure it fills that whole area. And now we have that animation. Let's just go ahead and change the animation here now. I'm going to do, let's see, 6.5. Let's just do 7.7 because that's the biggest one there. Copy and paste, replace. Okay, sweet. So now, oh, it's not in the center. I think I'm snapping it to something else for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. There we go. That's the center. Ah, there we go. Yay. So yeah, something like that. Okay, so now you have the templates with the pictures, And now we can swap these pictures out with any of the other pictures that we have. Let's just take let's just take these. I'm just going to duplicate these over here, and then we can start to replace them. But before we do, there's one last thing. You can see back in our reference, they all are scaling from 0. So they are coming from the very center at a scale of 0. So we can do that to all of them with an adjustment layer out here. And so for those of you who don't know, again, adjustment layers affect everything beneath those layers. So you can't choose what it affects. It's just whatever's beneath here. So now if I take this adjustment layer and add a scale of 0, everything beneath it is going to be 0. So we'll do a keyframe there, and then at the very end, well, the frame before the end, this is going to be at 1. So it's going to go from 0 to 1. And so it's going to mix that animation with the animations inside the meta strips. And now it looks like this. This is exactly what we have over here. Maybe a little bit, obviously they have a little bit more stylized type of thing. But the animation motion itself. Now, they do, I think, come out at different times. So they scale at different times. Mine is a little different. It's kind of, they all scale kind of out at the same time. All you'd have to do to adjust that is just to open up your dope sheet or timeline editor or whatever. I don't want to see those markers, show markers. It's just not enough space. So let's go to those keyframes. Then we just say, okay, I think the top right or the top left one was last. It scaled out last, so that'll stay there, and then the other ones will just like this bottom one here I think was first. So I'll say we'll scale this, we'll put this keyframe here. So it's actually coming out first. And then I think this one was second. The top right one was second. So we'll just put that one, I don't know, here, maybe. Snap this. No. Snap that to current frame. And then this one was second to last. And we'll just, I don't, it's not really, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what that looks like. So, yeah. So something like that. Of course, we'll probably have to adjust the time that it takes. And in fact, let's extend these. Let's extend all of these here a little bit longer. Okay, can't extend those, but I need to unlock it. Control-Alt-H. Yeah. And maybe I don't need to have those locked. I just, for some reason, felt like it was necessary. But, and then just take that and pull all of those out like that. And then we'd have to do that with all of these. Control-H. I promise I'll get to your comments in just a second. I just want to get to the kind of the finishing point of this. Control-H, snap, and Control-H. Oh, Control-Alt-H, snap. Okay, all right. So that now it kind of just hangs there for a little while, so that you can kind of actually see the pictures. Okay, so there you go. So there's your template. So let's save this. I'm going to save another iteration. Okay, now if I wanted to replace this or use this template with something else, let's just delete those. Let's duplicate these and then just start taking these pictures and copying and pasting. So copy that, Control C, go in here, delete this one, or not all of those, just this one. Nope. X, delete, there we go. And then paste the other one down here. And put that here. And now we can move that around to and scale. Move. Oh, here we go. We need to, I'm going to do Alt G, Alt S, because I forgot these pictures. You know what? Instead of doing that, let's just do this. I'm going to delete those because I forgot I had modified those. So let's go here and let's just drag them from my computer. So we'll drag this one. And we'll have our timeline cursor. We have to have our timeline cursor over at the end point here so we can properly adjust those. Scale it up a little bit and adjust it here. So it's gonna, obviously it's gonna crop out some of that, but that's okay. That's expected with this template. So now we've replaced that one. Let's delete this and put this one in here. Same thing. Oh, yes, has to be over here. I keep forgetting. Okay, we'll scale that or move it. I think we just move it and scale it up just a tad. Yeah, that's good. Next. Boom. Boom. And let's bring this one in. And let's adjust that as well, like that, I think. Yeah. Okay, and then the next one. Do this one. All right, there we go. So now this should work straight away exactly like this one does, because, and we didn't have to do any sort of template or any sort of new animation. All we had to do is adjust the come on, adjust the pictures a little bit, and see you can see one of them was off just a little bit. And you can see there is still some like that are kind of off, but it's not really all that noticeable. It just depends on how intricate you want to be with it. I think it may be this one we'd have to bring that down a little bit. Let's just this one. Bring that down. I don't know, maybe not. No, maybe it looks like we might have to adjust the actual container, but again, that might be also a bit of bugs there. And I also forgot to so we've got top left, top right, and then we got to rename this to bottom right and bottom left, preferably before duplicating them. But there you go. So that is how you can create a template in the VSE. It's not the most elegant or organic type of thing. I don't actually know how Adobe creates their templates, and it's definitely not as sophisticated, but it's possible. It's possible. And so you can do a whole bunch of different things with these adjustment layers. Okay, let's look at some of these comments here. Okay, another tangent. Sorry. Have you tried the new online assets yet? I think that's an awesome feature as well. I have not. I have not, but yeah, there's so many new things that are coming out that it's hard for me to keep up. And then also do my own thing. So I actually haven't even used assets proper themselves. So that's why I didn't say asset in this tutorial, because technically I think you could save these out as assets, and then you could name them, and then you could have the thumbnail and stuff. I think that you can do that. I will try maybe for the next live stream to play around with that and see if that's something that is a thing. But I haven't messed around with those. So I haven't actually messed around with regular assets yet, let alone online libraries. But I get the concept, because it's the same thing where add-ons now you can just it pulls it from online instead of having to go to a web browser, go to the site, download it, and then upload it to Blender. I don't remember when they had online access. I think that was like 4.5 or 4.4 even. So we've had that for a year or so now, maybe a couple years, and so that's kind of the same concept where if you go to your preferences and your extensions, you can add repositories for different downloads for extensions and stuff, which is that's really cool. So it's kind of the same thing with the assets. So now you have asset libraries, and then you can I'm guessing add a remote asset library. So a remote asset library works pretty much the same, from my understanding, as a repository. It's just an online bank of some sort where you can pull information from. Let's see. Not sure if you can make strips into assets, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can. Maybe you can't. I mean, we can test that. How do I make an asset? See, this is what I'm talking about. Can I just right click and see? Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think you can. But that would be cool, make like a group, just like selection, put like selection to asset or something like that. And then you can like make your own thumbnail and stuff with that. That would be cool, because then you would know, like, oh, this is the animation that does this, and it would be very visual. Like you could have this as your thumbnail. So let's see. Yeah, from brief look around, I couldn't find any way to do that. Yeah. Strips are on a data block, so it can't be made into an asset. Ah, I see. Okay. You can make nodes as assets. Yes, right. You can. And that would be that would be another way to make templates. I was just showing a way to make templates strictly with the VSE, only in the VSE, and just using the adjustment layers. So you can kind of see there's a lot involved here. But once you have it set up, it works well. But I'm guessing that with compositor nodes, because you can do the same thing with compositing nodes. And then you could make that an asset. So for example, yeah, if we just take these, well, let's just get rid of these here. Control G. delete, Control G. The bad part of live streaming is that I can't do this and then speed it up for you. I'm just trying to get these pictures out of here. Okay, so okay. What we could try to do is okay, let's do Alt G, Alt S. Actually, let's do scale to fit. Okay. Let's go and add in. Let's see. I want to look at my time too. 1:15. Okay. We'll probably do this. Will be the last thing that we do today, and then we'll call it good. But I do want to. I think it's a good idea to mess around with this. So I don't know what I'd call this. We'll just say MoGraph animation. And let's pull this out. You know what? Actually, I was doing this last night. I did think about trying to make a template with the nodes. One thing I wish you were able to do, and maybe that even doesn't even make sense, is now that I think about it. But I was trying to like have an input here with a picture, like you can actually select this and like choose the image from your file. But that really doesn't make sense if you're doing it on an image strip already. So just add the image strip and then add the compositor modifier. So yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there. But what you could do is like a little transform here. And then you would animate these, right? So you can animate that scale. I'm just going to do a simple like scale from 0. So we'll do it see this is interesting though. Like I might have to add a time curve. How did they do that? So, and Yorai probably you would know this. Like, how do I make the animation last the length of the strip? Okay, wow. Whew. I missed all of these. And scenes as well, which have strips in them. Yeah, right. So you could do this. You could put each asset. You could create a scene. If that's the case, you could create a scene for one asset. So I could say maybe just create a new scene here, and then call this Foursquare anim. I don't know, and then take the testing, copy that, and then paste that here, and do that. And so this is the only thing in that scene, and then make this scene a template. And then you would add the scene into your blend file, and it would be a separate scene. But then you could copy and paste it just like I just did from one scene to the other. So that's another way you could do it. But I do want to keep going with this compositor thing. But I gotta would be nice to let's see. I guess this comes somewhat background to what Ghana was asking about. Would be nice to have a way to individual have I can't speak. Hold on a second. Let me get some coconut water. Some actual water. And then breathe. I get ahead of myself and I start talking too fast. And okay, would be nice to have a way to have individual strips as presets assets. Yeah, not everything needs to be compositor setup. Yeah, yeah, I do like the compositor to that point. I do like the compositor addition to everything, but I also want the VSE to be improved. Like it's like native to the VSE. For example, text files or text strips. Now, you know, you can put a whole bunch of text in here. Several line can be put here. Put here. And then line spacing. Boom. This is awesome. But there's not letter spacing. Like there should be a letter spacing here. That would be super duper awesome. And native. Like for example, I'm glad this line spacing is not a compositor modifier like type of thing. It's just native to the VSE, and I think that there needs to be more of this. Shapes also, for example, I think should be also a native thing to the VSE, like just adding simple shapes. I don't know if they'll ever do that one though, but I can see them adding letter spacing here in the near future. They didn't tell me that. I'm just saying I could see that happening. Let's see. Plus compositor generally still kind of heavy. Exactly. And you can lose some benefits of having stuff on the timeline. No, that should make sense. This image input option in geometry nodes. There is an image input option in geometry nodes. Is there? That's what I thought. That's what I was trying to remember. I was like, okay, but I couldn't replicate that in the compositor with the sequencer nodes. You two really do need to. Yes, we do. We do. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. Definitely. Because then we can toss around ideas here. Let's see. Seems there's no image input in the compositor, which is really. Yeah. Coconut water, very hipster. I am so not a hipster, let me tell you. I do like the coconut water though. Look, the things that I eat and drink are kind of hipster only because hipsters have hijacked it for trendy because it's trendy. I actually am forced to because there are very few things that I can eat and drink, and coconut water is one of those things. I can't do sodas. I can't do really a lot of anything except for like very simple stuff. So, yeah, and same thing with like I have to eat healthy because my gut is just a mess. But that's also probably TMI. And they are refreshing, yes. Letter spacing sounds like a good proposal for the right-click select forum. Yeah, I don't post on there much, and I've only been there a handful of times. But they do have good suggestions. In fact, one of the most recent updates was from right-click select. It might be in development already. Yeah. I'm a trendsetter. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think the trend started before I had my gut issues, but I definitely didn't want to fall into the hipster category because not that I'm hipsters. It's fine. I'm just like I just think it's just so on the nose. It's so cliche. I'm a very unique person. like I don't like most of the things that people like. And I like very select few things, and not everything about it. So, for example, music. My music, like I love music, but only very select types of music, and um, like music history type stuff. I don't necessarily like most of that, but then there are some that's really really interesting to me. So and some is just really really boring to me. So like I tend, and I'm not really that much of a sports guy. Um so I don't do sports ball, but I do like table tennis, or ping pong as we call it. I love that game. And foosball, the American foosball, the tabletop game, not the European soccer. So, by the way, is it Spain that won? I don't even know. I didn't even hear the results. Okay, I just people have been talking about Spain, so I assumed that they had won, but I didn't actually hear. Okay, enough about hipster stuff. And um, what uh, what was I about to do? Oh yes, the VSE thing here. Let's get rid of this text. Um, so, oh yes, the time. Um, I know how we can find out. We can go to Blender release notes. I don't think it was 5.2 that said this. It was 5.1. This one. I want this time curve. Yeah. Oh yeah, start frame and end frame. Sequencer strip info. That's what I need. Along with the time curve. Okay, so let's try that here. So sequencer strip info. Yep, we're hello? Hello? Sequencer strip info. Yeah, there we go. Time curve. Time curve. Okay. Start frame, end frame. And then factor in the scale. Yes. Perfect. Yes. Oh, see. Oh, yep. And we've crashed. To Yurai's point, that's exactly why we need stuff more native to the VSE. And I don't think I saved. I can't remember when I saved last. So we've probably lost a lot of information there. Uh, oh gosh. Yeah, I hadn't even renamed any of this stuff yet. Oh my gosh. Uh and what is this now? See, and then they're all scaling out in the same amount again. But no. Anyway, let's do picture. Kind of like this one. It's nice and bright. Okay, save. Man, I need to get used to saving. Like, it happened last night too. I forgot to save for quite a while, and then it crashed, or something like that happened. Compositor, MoGraph, graph animation. Add in. At least it didn't hang my whole stream, but this time, which it's done before. Transform. Okay. Sequencer strip info. Boom. Save. Time curve. Save. Plug these in. and plug this into the scale, save, and then let's just do it slowly. Okay. Now it looks like it's fine now. So there you go. This would be a template that we could use here as a compositor. Whatever this is called, a node tree. So save this node tree out, and then I can add in another picture here. Add in this picture, which doesn't have anything on it. There's no animation. But if I click add a compositor modifier and just choose the same thing, the motion graph animation, boom, works right away. So this could probably be used to make something like this as well. And the nice thing about this is with the time curve like this, it doesn't matter how long this is. So it's from 0 to 1. Now, you might actually want this to be like, so cut here, and then, well, let's just see, let's save it here, and then delete it from here, and then maybe delete it and then re-add it to this. Yep, so that it just hangs on the picture. So like that. That's probably what you would want to do. Yep, so how would I mark this as an asset? Right click. So right click up here, mark as an asset. So now my MoGraph anim is now an asset right there. But now I don't know what to do with it now. Okay, so it's an asset. Now what? Does that mean if I open up a new Blender, it's going to recognize that? Oh, well, I have to set up my asset library, I know, which I don't have. It's just a regular user library. Does it automatically put it in there for me? I don't even know, because you can define your own. Let's do another Blender instance here. And let's just do another picture here. And compositor, sequencer. Okay, so now how do I add? Okay, so now how do I add that asset? Setting up libraries more complex. Oh, fun fact. Oddly enough, there's an object input available in the compositor nodes, which I can't really think of a use case for. I know I tested that out last night with the object because I was like, oh, maybe I can just put a picture in as an object, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's because you can put like, scenes from the 3D scene into the VSE. So having an object, go in there. But I could see, I mean, yeah, compositing nodes having an object from your 3D scene. That makes sense to me. If you do Shift A for add menu, you can start typing the name of a node to search for it, and avoid searching through the menu itself. But but it says it's a library already, right? MoGraph, no. But the blend file will be saved at the location specified in the preferences. Oh. Yeah, that's something that I'm going to have to, because I've done it a little bit before. That's not something I'm going to do right now as far as the assets, but I think I'm on the right track. At least I know how to add a node tree as an asset now. So it works out. It works out. But we're at an hour and 35 minutes. So I think this is a good time to wrap it up here. And I haven't really even checked to see, how many more people here. Yeah, you can already use that asset, only it's just local to this file. Other files won't see it unless you save it, like I said. Okay. That makes sense. I'll have to tinker around with that and then trying to figure out what were we talking about for next week. I think maybe doing something like that with text and stuff. See, I think the text, a lot of the text, like with the animation, well, they don't do it here, but in one of these, I thought, yeah, like a lot of their, well, they didn't really do it here. This one right here, kind of, where you have the text, the individual text letters coming together. Again, that's with the letter spacing. Or something like this, where the letters kind of go up, But you can do all of that in geometry nodes, and then use the geometry node scene as a 3D scene over your VSE scene or your other scenes. Your sequencer scene. You can put it in your sequencer. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, this anti-hipster, this non-hipster needs to rest his voice. Just a few more chats here. Just going to read them from Yorai. Which makes it little to no different from just reusing what you have already in other ways. Yeah, I think that's why I haven't used assets a whole lot, is because I feel like if I guess because I haven't used them that much, to me they're just like saving a blend file. So you save a blend file, which you can already just import. You can append scenes from other blend files already without creating an asset. But I guess if you have a whole bunch of assets and individual scenes with those assets in there, it makes it easier to browse through them and then pull that information into a new blend file. I guess I can see that. It's just I've not really done a whole lot with that and have not needed to do a whole lot with that. Well, obviously I've been focusing so much on the VSE and not a lot on the 3D environment, 3D graphics, but I want to get there eventually. I know right now it's kind of, the VSE and stuff is kind of exciting, but like I do love 3D. I love computer graphics. I love adding that to real footage. That's why I like Blender, because it has both the video editor and the 3D environment, which you can combine the two, and the camera tracking stuff as well. So that's really what I love to do. But you know, this niche here, nobody, there's not a whole lot of people doing it, so it's a good opportunity to kind of grow my channel and, you know, talk about some of these things that other people aren't. And you know, a lot of people really are starting to like and follow the new updates for the VSE. I mean, those are the videos that I make that do really well. And Ryan King Art, he he gave me a shout out the other day for that video, and so that's really nice. Actually, Ryan and I had a conversation together, we online once. Gosh, just 4 or 5 years ago now, where our channels were about the same size. So I think we both had about 4,500 subscribers, and now he's got like 300,000 whatever subscribers. He's really blown up. But I'm a measly old 7.2 thousand. But that is okay. It's better than zero, and it's growing. So it's growing slowly, but it's growing. It's going in the right direction. And I do have plans for more consistent content, and some more ideas for kind of more engagement. So live streams are kind of one of those things. That's kind of like, I guess I'm getting into the habit of doing this, so it's kind of a tick on that checkbox. So anyway, okay, let's see. We're really gonna wrap up here, I promise. Yeah, it allows you to organize a little better with preview images, catalogs, and stuff. Would be nice for an option for animated previews, though. Yeah, that would be cool. Sorry, I have to. I'm not in the screen because I have to bend down to read my poor, tired old eyes. Oh, yeah, and moderators wrapping this stuff up too, so I should go now. But thanks for joining, everyone. Stay tuned till for next week. I'm going to try to do another one, you know, on Saturdays. Again, no promises. Things come up, especially on the weekends. So, but I'm going to try, and we'll kind of continue going what we're doing now. Maybe we'll focus on actual text. So see if we can do some text motion graphic templates. Maybe dabble a little bit with geometry nodes and just kind of show you how that works as well. But we'll see how far I get for next week. But anyway, have a good rest of your weekend. Hope everyone is well in the world, and I will see you, or I won't see you, but you will see me in the next one. So stay tuned. All right, end the stream now.